Firstly, you are looking at this right. Yeah, it is like the afternoon when I'm recording and uploading this video. It's the first time in, I don't know, multiple months, if not even years, that I didn't find a way to upload a video sometime in the early parts of the morning. And I'm not including the video that we posted at 1 a.m. PST last night of the Canucks and their game against the Oilers and the JT Miller trade story that was all a part of that. But yeah, that commentary was just kind of a recap of what I had done and just talking about the Canucks and the trade situation. It was fun. It was a great day, but I was extraordinarily tired, and I ended up taking like 7.5 hours in bed. When I woke up, I was still extremely tired. It was the most tired I feel like I've ever been. And I was like, I can't go to work like this. I can't make videos like this, so I had to sleep for a few more hours, you know? That's kind of the joy of being self-employed, but at the same time, I'm very lucky that I have this opportunity to do the work that I do in this capacity. So, unfortunately, this video is a little bit late. The entire show is a little bit late and pushed forward, but we're going out there and talking about the Montreal Canadiens, because yesterday I did get myself a little bit of a scare throughout my ski trip, checking my phone and looking at my fantasy team, and, you know, I had a lot of time sitting on these chairlifts, so there was a lot of dead time where I was doing some wheeling and dealing, lots of moves and lots of games from yesterday. But the Montreal Canadiens, you know, Lane Hutson is on multiple of my fantasy teams this year. I think he's on 6 out of the 8 that I run, and he got an assist yesterday with the Patrik Laine power play goal, and I was like, yes, let's go! Like, I'm getting points here from Hutson. I had to drop Laine, unfortunately, because him being in and out of the lineup with illness just was not feasible for me to keep on my team. There are other players that were more consistent, but Hutson getting an assist was really great, and I was like, yes, I need these extra points to win my matchups, and then I ended up going down the slopes, had a very great time, and upon checking my phone at the end of everything, I opened up the Lane Hutson page, and I was like, wait a minute, what? The guy had 0 points for me tonight? What happened? I thought he had an assist. And then I saw the fact that he was a -5. And the Habs ended up losing to the Maple Leafs 7-3 after holding what was a 3-0 lead. Imagine that! The second and third period saw the Toronto Maple Leafs just pile on. The power play goals, the shorthanded goals, every other kinds of goals you can see. The Habs lost, and the Toronto Maple Leafs finally got their story. They'd been struggling a little bit as of late, too. The loss to Vancouver really shook things up for that organization, but they finally get themselves back in a pretty meaningful way. It just so happens that Montreal is the opposing team here. Now, I wanted to go out there and respond to some of the discourse that's been going around, because I did watch some of the highlights here. I had no choice but to, especially since they were posted in Tagalog on the Sportsnet website. Most of you are aware that I am a Filipino dude. Born in the Philippines, Filipino family, fully Filipino, but I moved to Vancouver when I was a baby. However, just knowing parts of this language and hearing it be the primary voice for a Montreal and Toronto hockey game, it was like, I get it, it's all about inclusion and we're trying to get more people involved. That was the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen. Like, wow, I was laughing my ass off when I heard some of the calls for the goals in that broadcast. I'm not gonna say that we need to see this permanently, but wow, was that fun. I was like nearly dying of laughter last night coming home and watching the Patrik Laine goal call in Tagalog. Anyways, let's go out there and talk about the response to goaltending, because a lot of people will look at this game, Montreal versus Toronto, and look at Samuel Montembeault. He had an .818 save percentage, 33 shots against, and 27 saves. So the guy let in 6 goals on 33 shots. Obviously, you know, the shots against and the saves, that's not too bad. Like, making 27 saves on a game is usually sometimes enough to win it. Shots against, 33, yeah, that's not easy, but the fact that he had such a low save percentage did have a lot of people all over social media just kind of clamoring about him, saying like, oh, what's wrong with this guy? Like, he's not that good. Why did he make Team Canada, etc., etc.? But, like, let's go out there and read some extra commentary in regards to Samuel Montembeault, using Elias Ediem's article as reference here. because Elias Ediem went out there and posted some of the comments made by Montreal Canadiens people that analyze the Montreal Canadiens, and how a lot of people are defending Sammy Montembeault. Defending him from the tirade of Habs fans that are going out there and talking smack about him, from the other fans, not Habs fans, that are talking smack about him. Let's go out there and see this here. So, Canadiens player had a lot to say about Sammy Montembeault after a tough loss to the Leafs. This will be linked in the description alongside of our ExpressVPN affiliate link. Go out there and check us out on ExpressVPN to save yourself some money and to get yourself some free months in your VPN. Plus, you're helping the channel by doing so. So, let's dive into this piece here. There's a post made by Etienne Ferland. It was posted onto Twitter, and he went out there and said this: maybe we should calm down about Sammy Montembeault. It's true that he had a tough night, but we shouldn't forget all the great games that he has had this season. Let's take a deep breath, please. We are allowed to like Dobeš and Montembeault. And this post had 14,000 views, and a lot of people would go out there and kind of bring it up, saying, oh, like, is a 900 record really that good? It's a decent season, but it's not the definition of a #1 goalie, comparing, of course, Montembeault to Dobeš. Etienne Ferland then goes out there and says the team was really bad for 2 months of the season as well, so maybe that's an unfair number to look at. He also had this made by Marc-Olivier Baudouin: we need to stop overreacting to the result of every single game. Sammy Montembeault had a very bad game yesterday, and he knows it. It happens to all goalies to have a bad one. Many forget that he contributed to a very happy sequence of Canadiens hockey. How he responds to this performance will be important, I agree. In the meantime, we should calm down a little before giving the #1 title to a youngster in Dobeš who has 4 NHL games under his belt. And I didn't realize that this conversation was percolating so much. Habs fans saying, oh, Montembeault sucks, Dobeš is the #1 now because he's gone out there and defeated all these champions and he's gotten shutouts and he's been looking good. Yes, okay, that's true, but like, Dobeš is 23 years old. What do you want out of this guy? He's played 4 NHL games. That guy can't be a starter. That guy can't play 50 NHL games a year yet. Like, sure, he might get there one day, but not now. Not in 2025. Give him a year. Give him 2 years. Just kind of being the backup. And then in 2026, 2027, if he is consistently performing at a 920-plus rate, maybe getting 20 games a year, 25 games a year, then you start to say, okay, maybe we can give this guy starter duty. Maybe we can give this guy 40 games a year. Maybe we can give this guy 55 games a year. And then he's a starter. But not now. This is not the time to go out there and start rushing 23-year-old goaltenders into the starting position in the National Hockey League for a team like Montreal that admittedly didn't really play all too well in front of their goaltenders. After the first period, at least. Go back over to the article and you'll find some comments made by Nick Suzuki, who had spoken out about Sammy Montembeault from earlier last week. This was from a video clip posted on Le 5A Set on Twitter, January 13th, 2025. Some have questioned his selection for Team Canada, and I don't know why, Nick Suzuki said. Montembeault has been excellent for us for a few years now. He keeps us in the game during tough moments. He's won many games for us last year and this season. His talent is starting to be recognized. People are going to love him if he gets the chance to play for Team Canada during the Four Nations tournament. And that's the thing. He had a stinker game, yes. He didn't let in some quality goals. I mean, some of these snipes from long range, you really don't want to see them going in. Austin Matthews's. I mean, okay, it's Austin Matthews. What are you going to do? But for all of the bad goals that Montembeault let in yesterday, there are maybe 2 times the games where Montembeault kept the Canadiens in it before either ultimately succumbing to a defeat in a very tight matchup or edging out with that dub. Sammy Montembeault has been a beast for most of his time with the Montreal Canadiens, and I don't think people should start to forget that because of last night's game. He's not washed. It was one bad game. And you could maybe say, oh, it's been a few 800 games now in a row, but like, think about it. Every few games, there's a 9-5 or a 9-7 sprinkled in there. I mean, it was just a few weeks ago that he went back-to-back against the Red Wings with 2 straight wins. Montembeault was the guy. Then he helped the Habs beat Vegas and Tampa. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Sammy Montembeault conversation and how some people are going out there and complaining about him. Is this unfair? I don't know. Let me know in the comments, how do you feel about it? I hope you enjoyed this video. Shroll 99. And bye.